kahit sa buong mundo, ang tinetest ang 100% ng populasyon. Walang gumagawa nun. Bakit? Kasi number one, hindi kailangan. Okay? Number two, masyado yang mahal at hindi talaga kinakailangan gawin. No? Kaya pag sinabi mong, kaya may problema talaga eh. May problema talaga yung salitang mass testing eh. Kasi naiintindihan ko na it causes confusion eh. Kasi pag sinabi mong mass testing, ang nagiging nasa isip ng lahat ng tao, lahat itetest. Hindi po ganon.
Bok, a COVID-19 laboratory will also be set up here at the Philippine Sports Stadium so that swab samples will no longer be sent to other laboratories. The government says they will also expedite the accreditation of laboratories with the expected surge of swab samples, including that from the OFWs backlog, which have reached 5,000. Bok?
JC, maliban sa mga overseas workers, sino pa ang pwedeng magpa-test dyan? Ibig ko sabihin, siguro tanong ng maraming tao ito, pwede bang mag-walk-in dyan? Pwede bang magpa-test dyan ng kahit sino may gusto?
Bok, ang sinasabi ng mga officials ng National Task Force Against COVID-19, ang unang itetest nga dito ay yung mga returning overseas Filipino workers. Sunod nga dyan is yung mga LGUs, particularly yung galing sa North na Metro Manila, kasama na nga dyan yung Bulacan and Pampanga. So yung sistema ng testing dito is syempre referral ng mga LGUs. Bok.
Okay, so para lang malinaw, Bok, so hindi pwedeng basta-basta pumunta dyan. Government has to bring you there, is that correct? Nobody can just go there or go to any of these mega testing facilities on their own?
Bok, ang sinasabi ng NTF, ang sistema talaga is again referral ng mga LGU yung gagawing testing. Kumbaga hindi basta-basta kahit sino na mag-walk-in dito para magpa-test, Bok.
Okay, maraming salamat. JC Cosico reporting live from Bulacan. We have new policy directions about the new normal from the President's public address last night. National Task Force COVID-19 Chief Carlito Galvez is recommending that lockdowns not be done by region anymore, but by barangays. This is also meant to help the economy that has been badly hit by the COVID-19 lockdowns. Meanwhile, Trade Secretary Mon Lopez confirms that workers are not required to undergo PCR testing if their companies refuse to shoulder the cost of testing. The President then reiterated the need to strictly implement community quarantine guidelines.
A rule is a rule is a rule. And when you begin to mess up with the law, talagang ginagarantiya ko sa inyo na makukulong talaga kayo.
Social Welfare Secretary Rolando Bautista announced that instead of LGUs, the police and military will be the ones distributing the second tranche of the government's social amelioration program. The President also repeated strict warnings against pilfering from the government's cash aid program for low-income households.
Mabuti ang alam ninyo na everything is transparent, lalo na sa bilyon-bilyon na binigay. I assure you we will be able to account for it, except those who were malversed by the officials down dito sa local governments na nawala. Then they have to answer for it. But otherwise, to the last centavo na ibigay namin sa tao ang programa sa gobyerno.
The chief executive also claims that a certain biotech company called Moderna has developed a potential COVID-19 vaccine. The president said the vaccine could be rolled out commercially starting January next year. Until then, the president said, we just have to stay alive.
Meron ng vaccine, but ang problema, it will be ready, according to them, by 2021 pa. January at the earliest. So kung ganon, huwag ka sanang mamatay hanggang January. Hintayin mo yung vaccine. Pag tinawag ka ng kamatayan, sabihin mo, ka, umalis ka dyan. Kami nihintay ako ng vaccine.
When we return, overseas workers lament their extended stay in isolation facilities. One Filipino migrant worker we talked to says he has been stuck inside a hotel for more than 20 days. That story and more when One News returns. I'm Ed Lingao. This is One News Now. National Task Force COVID-19 Chief Carlito Galvez Jr. is urging the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, or OWA, to release quarantined overseas workers who already tested negative for COVID-19. Repatriated overseas workers have been complaining about the long period that they've been spending in isolation facilities. Camille Samonte with the story.
OFWs are required to undergo a 14-day quarantine period before they can go home to their families. But for Derek, that's not really the case. He has spent more than 20 days in quarantine at a hotel in Quezon City. He arrived in the Philippines last April 28 together with more than 90 repatriated OFWs from UAE. All of them underwent rapid tests and swab tests, but until now, they have yet to receive their test results.
pagdating po dito, hoping na after 14 days, makita na namin sila. Pero nakaka-disappoint po and sobrang hindi na po siya healthy sa amin mentally and emotionally kasi hindi po kami nabibigyan ng sagot kung kailan kami exactly makakauwi at makikita yung pamilya namin.
Derek says up to now, they're still waiting for a hard copy of their medical certificate from the Bureau of Quarantine stating they've completed the mandatory 14-day quarantine period and that they're not carriers of the coronavirus. Derek and other OFWs are also worried about their finances because they're buying some of their own essential supplies.
Naiintindihan po namin sila na lahat po hindi ready sa crisis na ito pero ang suggestion po sana namin para mas ma-release po agad yung certificate, lahat po ng may email, pwede na lang po sana nilang i-send through email yung mga certificates and yung may mga pwede na po sana magpasundo dun sa LGU and sa sarili-sariling family, mas maigi po sana para mas makabawas sa kanila ng intindihin.
The Overseas Workers Welfare Administration appealed for understanding since they are processing more than 1,000 returning OFWs every day.
We really just have to be patient about the process. Yung BOQ certificate is the most important document. The results come from the Red Cross. It is the BOQ that validates the results. So rest assured, we are following up.
OWA is now developing an online portal to speed up the process in acquiring the medical certificates of repatriated OFWs. During last night's Interagency Task Force meeting, National Task Force COVID-19 Chief Implementer Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. warned that the expected arrival of 42,000 OFWs poses a big problem to the country's quarantine facilities.
So, ma-overwhelm po yung ating mga hotels. Sa ngayon po, si General Rizana, kinausap niya po ang maritime industry, kasama po ang mga ibang agencies, at isinosolve na po natin yung ating problema sa OFWs. And he directed DOTR, he directed also OWA and also the Marina to immediately release all the OFWs that had been tested negative.
So far, around 27,000 OFWs are quarantined in the metro, waiting for clearance to go home to their families. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
The health department stresses that there was never any intention to test each and every Filipino for COVID-19. In an interview with 1PH, Dr. Edsel Salvana of the DOH Technical Advisory Team says even the World Health Organization is only recommending risk-based testing. This means only those who are showing symptoms of the disease, as well as those who had close contact with positive cases, are the ones who need to get tested. COVID-19 testing czar Vince Dizon earlier said that the country is eyeing to test some 1 to 2 million Filipinos. But Salvana clarifies that as far as epidemiological tests are concerned, the Philippines may not need to test that many people.
Yung social weather station po, nagbigay nga po ng panukala na if you do it, of course, the more samples you do, the more accurate, although hindi naman kailangan lahat. Pero as little as 4,000 to 5,000 properly sampled people can actually represent the whole Philippines in those situations.
We will be back with more stories after the break, so stay with us on One News. I'm Ed Lingao, and this is One News Now. The COVID-19 crisis is not just affecting humans, but also animals, especially those living in zoos. JC Cosico with the details.
Malabon Zoo has been padlocked for more than 2 months now due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Parks and other tourist destinations are not allowed to open in areas under the community quarantine. Zoo owner Manny Tanco says this is the first time they closed their doors for a prolonged time since they began operation some 30 years ago. And without any visitor for months, his bills are racking up. He's now appealing for cash donations to help the animals.
Yeah, with my savings and with borrowings, I can survive the first 2 months. But after that, funds are running out already. We anticipated po na the lockdown will be around 2 months only. Mali po ang anticipation ko. So now it's going to be longer, especially po ang Malabon Zoo is probably sa park category 4 na miski na sa GCQ na tayo. We are supposed to remain closed po, and we will obey our president po.
The zoo shelters around 600 animals, ranging from fishes, snakes, lions, and deers. It's also home to Tiger Duterte and Justin Bieber.
They eat a lot of food every day. And as you can see, all of them are healthy and strong and happy. Why support the animals po, no? Because 365 days a year po, the animals provide us with food, clothing, and shelter po, and medicines.
The Malabon City LGU says the family of Mayor Lelen Oreta has been helping the zoo even before the start of the lockdown.
Talagang tinutulungan ng mga Oreta yan. Mga Oreta, tinutulungan talaga yan. Tapos, siguro, ang panawagan natin sa mga kababayan natin na may mga mabubuting puso, kung pwede, di ba? Siguro naman, sa hirap na dinadanas ngayon ng Malabon Zoo dahil lockdown, sa dami ng inaalagaan, mga hayop doon, siguro naman may mga mabubuting, pag-uusap natin sa ating mga kababayan may mabubuting puso na kung pwede sana ay mag-donate para doon sa pagpapakain sa mga hayop.
The Department of Environment and Natural Resources said they are ready to assist public zoos. But for private ones like Malabon Zoo, they can only do so much, like the provision of veterinary services.
Hindi maaaring maglabas kami ng pondo or anumang pambili ng mga pagkain ng kanilang mga animals dahil first of all, private nga sila. No? But if they are willing, pwede naman nilang isurrender kung talagang hirap sila. They can surrender it to our rescue center and we can take care of their animals naman para naman mapangalagaan natin yung buhay ng mga ito.
To those who want to help the zoo, they can contact Malabon Zoo for details or may deposit straight to the zoo's bank account. For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
The Labor Department is telling companies to provide shuttle services for their employees, but a business group says it is something that small companies cannot afford. Talking to One News' The Chiefs, Employers Confederation of the Philippines President Sergio Ortiz Luis says big companies can probably manage to deploy free transportation services to their workers. The problem is around 90% of businesses in the Philippines are small and medium enterprises.
How do you shuttle people, especially if you're a small one, when some of your workers are coming from Bulacan, some of the people are coming from Cavite. How do you provide shuttle service for them? So it's impossible. It has really got to be arranged bus transportation, and it should have been studied well.
For more updates, follow News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News.